What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 11, episode 8. So we start this episode off. We have Lisa and Harry Hamlin. They are shopping because she is inviting the ladies over for Harry's bolognese sauce. Now, we know from previous seasons, Harry is the cook of the house. Harry is the domestic. Lisa, I don't know what Lisa does. I don't know, okay? But she's inviting the ladies over. It's sort of like this is around Thanksgiving. They talk about Thanksgiving a lot in this episode. And it's sort of having like their own little Thanksgiving dinner, so to speak, I guess. And they're going to do it over Harry's famous bolognese sauce. So we see them going through the market and getting all of the fresh, herbs and spices and vegetables and all of the ingredients that goes into making Harry's a bolognese sauce, right? And it's one of those boutique markets. It's certainly not the safe way, okay? And Lisa gets lost in the store, child. Lisa can't even be good to carry the damn groceries out the store, okay? It's bad enough that you ain't gonna cook, but you can't even be trusted to, carry the groceries, okay? You got lost somewhere in the store. But it did. She was in the back getting a burger, and it looked beautiful. That burger looked so good anyway. So then we see Erica hanging out with Crystal. They're over to Kathy Hilton's home to play a little tennis. Erica said, see, this is what you're talking about with friends like Kathy Hilton who says, hey, you can come on over and play tennis on my tennis court because I'm not using it anyway, and I don't even need to be around such stuff in. And it is a beautiful home. It looks like it is a gorgeous estate, okay? And they are playing tennis, and Erica is about as good at playing tennis as I am, okay? And now, I have played tennis a few times in my life, and I feel like I'm probably a better tennis player than Erica. Erica didn't know nothing. She didn't know the rules. She didn't know nothing. She barely could get the thing over the net, but she was there with Crystal, and Crystal is competitive, and Crystal said, listen, you just stand there and be cute. I will win us this game. And pretty much that's what happened. Now, I'm sure that, they took it easy on Miss Erica. But again, here's another, we're going to feel sorry for Erica. And let's be nice to Erica because she's going through something. Well, she is. She's going through some stuff, So after they get done playing tennis, they do find Kathy. She's up in her home, honey. And once again, we're talking about Erica and how horrible it was to be married to Tom and how she's going through so much. And, so now she's talking about how she just basically went into Tom's life and, his life was set up. Everything was what it was. She was just placed there. She didn't really have any independence. She didn't have any creativity. She didn't have a voice. She just basically did what she was told. See, y'all see how she's setting this up? She just did what she was told, honey. Tom told her where to go, what to do, and how to get there. They had a housekeeper that cleaned the house, and all she did was just, be the pretty little housewife. Now she, does groceries and laundry and all this other stuff, but she loves it because it's hers and it's her home, and she can come and go as she pleases. And I'm like, okay. So, once again, here we go, child. I said, listen, Erica, I ain't even mad at you. I ain't mad at you. So anyway, we head on over to Kyle's house where they're taking their annual Christmas photo in their matching pajamas. They do it every year. It's cute. It's whatever. Kathy shows up, honey, with her bag and her puppy. Now, let me tell y'all something. They was making fun of Kathy Hilton and her purse because Kathy Hilton got everything in her purse. Let me tell you something. I am Kathy Hilton and she is me. I carry the biggest purses with the most stuff in it, and I have a little bit of everything and nothing all at the same time, okay? She said, listen, I got a pair of sandals in here for when I get my pedicure. I have my pills. She had pills for 2 weeks in her bag. Kyle was like, are you going to go on a trip? She said, no. I just need to make sure I have them, okay? She had a little bit of this. She had the air spray and the mist spray. Listen, so then she said she had talked to Kim. And Kyle was like, oh, really? How's she doing? Now, Kim was alone for the whole COVID. By herself. She didn't have her kids with her. She's single. And so she was there by herself. And Kyle said, yeah, well, I thought me and Kim were in a good place. I reached out to her a few times. I texted her. She never responded. Here go Kathy. Oh, you got the wrong number. Kyle was like, what? She said, yeah, she changed her number. That's not the number. How you ain't know your sister changed the number? And listen, whatever Kim did, it must be a number that's still active somewhere, because if the number had been shut down, you would have gotten a response saying, this number is no good or something. You would have got some sort of text response saying the number is no good. But girl, and Kathy said it just as calm. And basically what Kyle said is we can't all be on the same page at the same time. And this threesome of sisters, at some point in time, if two of us are getting along, then one of us isn't getting along with the other person. Like, it is a constant, I like you, you like me, we don't like her situation. And so right now, Kyle is getting along with Kathy, and Kathy's getting along with Kim, but Kim isn't talking to Kyle. So it just is what it is, child. I don't know, child. Now, word on the curb, just as a sidebar outside of the show, word on the curb, Kim is shopping around a tell-all, and she is exposing all of the housewives. She is exposing Kyle and some more stuff. Now, we'll see if that book ever makes it to print, but if it does, we will be here to talk about it, okay? Anyway, Erica Jane is having a little, having some people over to the house. She's got Lisa coming through, and she's got Sutton coming through. And of course, Lisa comes in the house and is, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Oh my gosh, your neighborhood is so quaint. And she's using all these wonderful adjectives. Now, every time we get to Erica's house, we find out she took more and more out that house. Remember in the beginning, she just took a little bit. Then I took a few pieces. Well, I took this, I took that. Child, we went in there this time, and hell, she got furniture in there. She got this, she got that. She's redone one of the rooms. Remember her assistants were looking at how to redo one of the rooms and make it a closet, honey. She done got the closet all set up, okay? And then Erica reminded us that she does have her own money. She said, listen, I did have a New York Times bestseller. I, was on Broadway. I that. I had shoe collaborations. I'm on this show that you're watching right now. So don't get it twisted. I might be counting pennies, but I do have a few pennies to count, okay? And again, I feel like that was her way of reminding us that all her money did not come from Tom and wherever Tom got his money from. Sutton shows up. Listen, Sutton shows up with a coffee table book from Dolce & Gabbana of all the crowns. And it is signed by Dolce. And of course, Sutton is in the book because, she got all them crowns and she's friends with them and all that good stuff. I am here for it. Sutton, can I get one? P.O. Box 1331, Upper Marlboro, Maryland, 20772. Go on and send me one of them. I want to sign. Okay. So anyway, again, we're talking to Erica, and she's talking about her independence and how even though this isn't as big of a home, it's her home, and she's loving it, and she's yeah. But what was important was Miss Sutton lets them know that she is sick of the jokes. She is tired of the situation with Crystal. She don't want no more Thomasina jokes, no more peeping Tom jokes. And if we're going to move on, let's move on from the whole thing. Now, here's the problem. The person that keeps calling you Thomasina is Kathy. Who gonna tell Kathy to stop? Kathy is the one that keeps calling you Thomasina. Who gonna tell her to stop? Anyway, so Lisa was like, well, listen, are we done with this or not? Like, are we gonna keep talking about this? Are we going to keep having this conversation? Because I thought we were over it. And Sutton was like, listen, I'm telling you, I'm just over the situation. I'm tired of it. I'm ready to move on. But she really does owe me an apology. Listen, Sutton, sometimes you just have to let stuff go. You're not getting an apology, boo. I hate to be the one to tell you. I hate to be the one to explain it to you. But you are not getting an apology from Crystal. And if Crystal was thinking about apologizing, she's not going to. If anything, she's going to double down and she's going to go deeper. She doesn't think she's wrong. And sometimes you just don't get what you want. You can't always be waiting on an apology that ain't coming. I mean, I hate to be the one to tell you, but that's just what it is. Anyway, Garcelle is over to the house with her churn. Listen, Garcelle is that parent that was irritating my soul when I was doing my virtual learning. Her son told her, listen, I got to sign in for class, okay? She said, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just be over here pouring me some wine. And he was like, well, can you please not be so loud because I gotta have class. He logs into class. Garcelle decides that not only is she gonna pour some wine, that she's gonna cook dinner, she's gonna prep her food for dinner, and then she's gonna get on the phone, call the other son to come downstairs to empty the dishwasher. Really, Garcelle? While he's in class couldn't have lasted more than an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. You mean to tell me that dishwasher couldn't wait to be emptied until that boy was finished on class? And if that's what he is setting up for class, everything you did could have waited. Now, maybe prepping dinner because you want a dinner to be ready at a certain time. Okay, fine. I'm going to give you prepping dinner. But all of that extra stuff that you was doing, come on. Garcelle, you were that parent that was irritating my soul, okay? Well, come to find out that the other twin is having a bad week. He was in a bad mood. He was being real funky. And he was being a teenager at 13. And let's also take into account, with COVID going on, kids were dealing with a lot. And I don't want to lessen this and just reduce it to moody teenager. Our kids were really processing and dealing with a lot. They were, and I'm not going to say this, that her son was depressed. I'm going to just say that he might have just been having a bad day. He might have just been bored. He might have just been over it and just wanted to go outside and play with his friends and go to school and have a normal day that he could not have. And it just made you add that with the teenager and the hormones, and then you got the moody, you know. Now the week before, like Garcelle said, the week before I was his best friend. I was his mom. He loved me so much, you know. And then, you know, fast forward to, I don't want to deal with none of y'all. So I think it was just a combination of hormones and moody. And she said, you know, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to have those feelings and those emotions. Like, there would have been a whole different reaction from my mom if I had come to dinner with that attitude. She said, but I'm really trying to be different. And, you know, on one hand, sometimes I feel like we try to be too different because some things work. But on the other hand, I do understand that some things didn't work. And we do need to allow our children to have feelings and have emotions and go through stuff because everything isn't perfect. And every day isn't going to be perfect. And we were all dealing with something that none of us had ever dealt with before. And so giving him a little bit of slack to be a moody teenager, I was here for it. You know, it was a little comical because the other son was fine and he was just kind of like, what are you doing? You know? So anyway, we're over to the Hamlins' home and they're getting ready for the lunch. And she's going to have, Lisa decided that she's going to have a cake for Garcelle. She wanted to have like a whole birthday party, but of course, because of COVID, she kind of couldn't do that. So, you know, Lisa, who's still trying to get in Garcelle's good graces, she's having a birthday cake for her so they can have, you know, ice cream and cake and all that and acknowledge, you know, wow, the ladies are all there. Harry is cooking. Everything is great, right? The ladies start arriving and Kyle gets there first and they're talking to him about building a pool. She said, yeah, Lisa told me you want to build a pool. And you know, and Harry says, yeah, the pool isn't for us. The pool is for the grandkids so that our kids will bring the grandkids over, you know, to hang out at the pool. And Kyle makes a joke about, well, you know, your daughter's 19. I was 19 when I had my first. I mean, you might want to get ready. And Harry was looking at her like, what? She was like, I'm just saying, you might be a granddad before you know it. Girl, you don't go sit down somewhere? Like, that's how you walk in somebody's house? I'm sorry, before that, we go to Dorit's house, and she's got the whole Winter Wonderland going. And Dorita's got this cute little jumpsuit. I don't know what designer it is. I'm sure it's a designer, but it's cute. And she's got her a brand new little Hermes bag, honey, that, of course, you know, Kyle wants, because, you know, Kyle has an obsession with Hermes bags, honey. Anyway, she's trying to rebuild her collection after they got robbed a few years ago. I was going to say something wrong. Anyway, so they're on their way to the house. I had to rewind. I jumped ahead of some things. And we find out now that Dorit is moving into the world of designing wedding dresses. We know she does the bikinis and the beach wear and the lounge wear. So now she's getting into wedding dresses, and she's having this whole conversation with Kyle while they're on their way over to Brenda's house. And Kyle could care less. I mean, I'm sure Kyle asked the question not expecting this whole dissertation that she got on the wedding dress, but neither here nor there. She got it, honey. Whether she wanted it or not, she got the dissertation. And so anyway, that was that. So Dorit is getting into designing dresses, child. So after Kyle and Dorit show up, the ladies all show up one by one. You know, they all get there. Lisa comes out, you know, she's hosting them. Erica shows up. Crystal is there with the Crystal comes. No, Kathy comes. You know, everybody is there. The gang's all here. Sutton shows up. You know, all that good stuff. As soon as Sutton gets there, honey, the first thing out of Kathy's mouth is, "Hey, Thomasina." And Sutton was like, "So we just gonna start that already? That's how we're going to start the day off." And I'm thinking to myself, again, now you're mad at Crystal, but Kathy's the one that keeps doing it. Tell Kathy, listen, I want to just move forward. Can you please stop with the nicknames? It just always brings it up. Just call me Sutton. It was a joke. It was funny. Let's move on. But see, you don't want to talk to Kathy. So now you're going to transfer that energy over to Crystal. Because in your mind, if Crystal had never said it, then Kathy wouldn't be saying it. You know, yeah. So we have dinner. Everyone thinks the food is great. It's divine. It's lovely. It's wonderful. And then Lisa brings out the cake for Garcelle. And of course, Garcelle was surprised to see it. You know, she was shocked and she was surprised to see it. And then everybody had gifts for Garcelle. And Sutton says, "Well, I didn't know we were going to do gifts." And y'all know shady ass Bravo. They rewound the clip from last week where Lisa told all of the ladies when they were leaving the little cocktail event, "I'm going to have cake for Garcelle next week. If you guys want to have gifts, you can bring them." From that point forward, Sutton was in her feelings. Because y'all know how Sutton is about a gift and about etiquette. Pause that because I skipped something else. Then we had to have the whole conversation about Scott Disick again because Lisa's not spending Thanksgiving with the girls. The girls are going to Cabo, and Kyle says, "Well, is Scott going to be there?" And Lisa was like, "No, Scott's not going to be there." And again, they have the conversation about her because now the tabloids have picked it up and then got them going from dating to being engaged and all kinds of other stuff. And, you know, even to the point where Lois had to call Lisa like, "Girl, I just saw this in the tabloid," down to the Inquirer at the grocery store. "Is my granddaughter engaged to this 30-year-old man with 3 kids? Or 37-year-old man with 3 kids?" Now, Harry was like, listen, he ain't feeling it. But he is like, how can I judge? Because not only was I with a woman 20 years older than me, we had a whole baby together. Okay? So I'm in no position to judge, and it's just going to be what it's going to be. So we had to, listen, I don't want no more Scott Disick conversations. It's 2 episodes in a row. I feel like we talked about it. It is what it is. Moving on. So they start opening up the gifts for Garcelle, and Sutton is visibly upset. So Kyle goes over to her to talk to her and ask her what's wrong. And she's like, nothing's wrong. Kyle was like, "Girl, something is wrong with you." So she said, "Listen, let's go have a drink." So she takes Sutton away from the table to go have a conversation with her. She says, "Listen, at the end of the day, what I feel like is, she said, I'm ready to leave. I just don't like being around people that I don't like." And she's saying that she had to sit across from Crystal the whole time, and she doesn't like Crystal, and Crystal was just being real smug at her, and she just doesn't like it. She doesn't like it, and she's uncomfortable, and she's ready to go. Now, I'm sorry, before I go any further, did y'all peek when Garcelle got to the house and Harry tried to hug her and Garcelle walked past him? Now, granted, during the COVID, you wasn't supposed to be hugging no people. But all y'all was tested. You know that man was negative. You could have gave that man a hug. Anyway, moving on. So, Kyle and Sutton's conversation starts to get a little elevated. And the ladies are like, "Oh my gosh, are they arguing?" And they really were arguing. They weren't fighting each other, at least. Kyle was trying to get Sutton to calm down and get her to understand, child. Sutton was pouring that gin by the bucket load, okay? And at the end of the day, Sutton is, saying how the more and more ladies are coming over, and Sutton is getting more and more elevated, talking about that she don't like this and she don't like that and she don't want to do this and she don't want to do that. And finally, Garcelle was like, damn it, I thought we was past this. And Garcelle says, listen, Sutton, what is it that you need from Crystal for us to move forward? And basically what Sutton wants is an apology. But Crystal was like, I'm not giving you one. I said the word. I used it appropriately. I'm not taking it back. That's how I felt. And so then Crystal says, I'm sorry for how you feel. That's not a real apology. What kind of apology is that? That's not a real apology. What do you mean you're sorry for the way that I feel? And Crystal was like, okay, well, that's all you getting from me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So Sutton, now Crystal has dismissed Sutton. So now Sutton is even more upset and even more in her feelings and elevated. And baby, she starts walking off. And then Crystal did the one thing that I can't stand. Whenever somebody has a problem with somebody else and they can't articulate their issue, we always fall back to the, you just jealous. Now, I don't know what has happened or done or been said where Sutton feels like, where Crystal feels like Sutton is jealous of her. I could say Sutton is a lot of things, but I don't feel like Sutton has given us any indication that she is jealous of Crystal. Now, maybe there's some deleted footage. Maybe some conversations were had, but I can't think of nothing where she would say, where that would make me feel like she's jealous. That's just me. That's my opinion. Honey, Sutton starts walking off, and Sutton says, jealous of what? Your ugly leather pants? And girl, I'm not lying. I thought she said something else, and I feel like Kyle thought she said something else too, and then Kyle heard and was like, okay, she said ugly leather pants. Okay. Because I think everybody thought she was going to call Crystal ugly, but she said her ugly leather pants, baby. And that's pretty much where the episode ended. It's to be continued, so I guess we will have a conclusion of this argument next week. But baby, I'm over it. I'm over this conversation. I'm over all of it. And I feel like the majority of the ladies are as well. Baby, Sutton gonna say to Crystal, what planet are you on? Girl, Crystal gonna say, not yours. She told her she was an inappropriately awkward person. Listen, Crystal was giving them zingers. She was giving those zingers to Sutton, and Sutton ain't know what to do with it. But at the end of the day, I said what I said in the last review about the language. But listen, Crystal's entitled to how she feels about it, okay? She's entitled to her opinion about the situation. But baby, when she said not the play that you're on, I was done. Anyway, that was it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.